Namaste my friends, welcome to YogaCandi. My name's Candace and today is our last day of our 5-day yoga strength challenge. So today we're going to be focusing on glute exercises. So we're going to be very mindful about trying to engage our gluteus medius. Now it's very easy to think that we're engaging it when we're not, so we're going to take some time in some of our poses today to really feel it out, and so I can explain what it is that you need to know so that you know that you're actually activating that part of the body. All you're going to need today is a couple of yoga blocks, and don't forget you're more than welcome to do the 10-minute sun salutation video before we even begin if you would like some extra heat for the class. And of course at the end of the class you can always click through to a shavasana or a guided meditation. Well, let's start off, guys. Let's come on to our hands and knees. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Keep a nice neutral spine, very slightly tucking the tailbone. Let's close our eyes here in our tabletop and just take 3 nice deep breaths in and out of the nostrils. Now take some cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, arch. Inhaling, dropping the belly. Exhale, arch. Take one more. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, arch. Now tuck the toes, walk the hands forward. And we're going to come back and up for our downward facing dog. Now remember, don't worry if your heels are not touching the ground. Perhaps with time and flexibility this may happen. If you would like to focus on flexibility, we've also got our 14-day yoga flexibility challenge, which you're more than welcome to give a go at the end of the strength challenge if you would like to. Now from here in your down dog, make sure that you're lifting up through the tailbone, you're drawing your navel towards the spine, and just start to walk your dog so that you start to warm up these hamstrings, getting a little deeper, stretching them out. Externally rotate the shoulders so that you're trying to get your armpits to look at each other. And then become still when you're ready, placing the weight into all 4 corners of the hands, into the knife edge, all the way through each padding of the knuckle, and a little bit in the wrists. Close your eyes, let your head hang heavy, just look between the legs and then close the eyes when you're ready. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here. Now take a very slow walk to the front of your mat. And when you get there, feel free to bend the knees as much as possible, or as much as you would like to, and then just hang nice and heavy, enjoying a little forward fold, some more opening at the back of the hamstrings. You can hold from elbow to elbow, you can find a bit of movement if it feels good. Just listen to your body and find what feels good here. Big toes should be touching with around 1 inch between the heels. Now inhale, halfway lift, look up, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Now scrape the fingertips along the ground, grab one of your props, your block or a book or whatever you have handy, and we're coming in for chair pose, but we're going to place this prop between the knees. So we're squeezing the knees together. Hands can go up to the sky, or you can take them to your hips. What we want to do, start to walk your feet hip distance apart. Make sure your knees are not exceeding the toes. Sit back nicely into your chair and squeeze those knees. Squeeze the glutes together at the same time. You can even take your hands to your bum and you can feel it's all nice and firm. Take a deep inhale. Now release that prop. Exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, slowly roll your spine up to standing. Inhaling the hands to the sky, look as they touch. Exhale to the side body. Take a couple of little neck rolls here. And then inhale the hands to the sky, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Grab your prop, place it between the knees. We're going to sit back in for our chair once again. You can take your hands to your heart center. Play around with rocking back onto the heels. Keeping maybe even the toes off of the ground, so the toes are facing towards the sky. Just stay here for a few breaths, really squeezing that block. Concentrate on really squeezing it. And release the block. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. We're going to step back into a nice strong plank. Suck the belly up towards the spine. Zip your glutes together. So you're imagining you're getting a little dip on either side of the glutes here at our strong plank. And now roll over onto the right side body, coming in for side plank. You can always take this top leg down to the ground, just for some extra stability. Hold this just for a nice deep inhale. See if you can stack your feet. Now plant the top foot onto the ground. Take that bottom leg, take the knee down to the ground. We're coming in for a great way to engage the glute here on the left hip. So the right knee is placed on the ground, the foot is extended out behind you in line with the knee. Start to lean forward so that your elbow is stacked with the palm of this right hand. You can take your hand to your hip and you can even just stay here, but what you want to do is to make sure that the body is not leaning backwards or too forward. So you want it to be in line with the ground, just up in a nice long straight line. We're going to hold this just for a second, and then we're going to start to really engage this top glute. So tuck the toes of the right foot for extra stability. And we're going to inhale, lifting this left leg up into the air. Now place your hand onto that glute and feel where there's a little dip in the hip. That's your gluteus medius working, so suck it in. You can look straight down if your stability is really bad, or just look straight ahead at something that isn't moving. Suck in your core and keep that leg lifted. Take a couple of deep breaths. Now inhale the hand to the sky. And roll forward. Just bring your knees together. Come down for a child's pose just for a moment. Extend the arms out long. Taking the forehead down to the ground. And then come on forward. Make your way back into your plank. So come up and onto the toes, or you can always take a nice easy plank for now. Zip your legs together. Feel those glutes squeezing together. Exhale all the way down to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra or full cobra. And exhale, meet me in downward facing dog. Take your time getting there. Once you're in down dog, suck in your belly, tailbone to the sky. We're going to become still and take 3 deep breaths. Now you can walk, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lifting. Exhale, fold. Just relax for a moment. Start to walk your feet hip distance apart. And then hang heavy. Totally giving into gravity for a moment here. Take some nice deep breaths. Now inhale, halfway lift, look up once again. Exhale, fold. Maybe see if you can pull yourself a little closer towards the legs. And I'll scrape the fingertips along the ground, taking your block between your legs back in for our chair pose. So you're really squeezing that block. You're sending your tailbone down to the ground. Keeping your spine nice and long. Hands to your heart center in prayer, or just resting nice and lightly onto the legs. Really squeeze the buttocks as well. Toes can be lifted off the floor, sending all your weight to the heels. One more deep breath. On your exhale, release the block and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Release out the mouth. Do this a couple of times. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, release out the mouth. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now on your inhale, roll your spine all the way back up to standing. Legs nice and strong, lifting the knees, the kneecaps up towards the body. Close your eyes and tune back into the body just for a moment. You can take some shoulder rolls or some neck rolls. And then back to center. Inhale, the hands above the head, look up as the palms touch. Exhale, start to bend from the knees, coming back in for our chair. Squeeze this block between your legs, really squeezing the glutes together as well. Sit nice and deep into your chair. Squeezing, squeezing, lifting the toes off the ground. Weight is in the back of the heel. Look at something that isn't moving. Take a couple more deep breaths. Release the block. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, planting the hands. Let's step back into a nice strong plank. Zipping the legs together, squeezing the buttocks together, creating little dips on either sides of the bum. Now roll over onto the left side body, back in for our side plank pose. You can take the arm up to the sky. You can always use the top leg as an extra support, lifting the hips up towards the sky. Now place this top leg down firmly onto the ground, taking this left knee slowly down to the floor. So you're opening the leg back out to your 90-degree angle. Start to lean so that you're stacking the wrist of the left hand with the shoulder. Stay here, keeping it nice and strong. Don't lean backwards or too forwards. Try to keep it nice and long and everything stacked and engaged. Just hold this for another deep breath. Tuck the toes of the left foot. We're going to inhale and lift the leg of the right foot all the way up to the sky. Take your hand to the glute of the right leg. Feel that little indent where you've got that glute engaged. We're going to hold this. Just hold it lifted. Don't tilt backwards or forwards. Take a couple more deep breaths here. You've got this. One more deep breath. And slowly release that leg back down to the ground. Rotate forward, and we're just going to send it back for a child's pose. Bringing the knees together. Forehead down to the ground. You can bring the arms alongside the body and simply rest here for a few breaths. Tuning back into the body. On every exhale, lift up through the pelvic bowl. And we're going to be going back into our flow. Take your hands forward, step back into a nice strong plank. You can always slowly take the knees to the ground for an easy plank. Wherever you are, zip the glutes together. Exhale all the way down to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra or a full cobra. And exhale, meet me in downward facing dog. Hips up and back to the sky. Walk your dog just for a moment, being really gentle with yourself. And then become still, look between the legs. You can close your eyes. Let's take our 3 deep breaths here. And then either step, jump, or hop to the top of the mat. You can also take a little slow walk. Just have your feet hip distance apart and exhale, fold into your forward fold. You can hold on to each elbow, or you can always place your palms underneath your feet if you have the flexibility. Keeping the legs nice and engaged if you've got your palms under your feet. And start to pull yourself down towards the hamstrings. If this is not accessible, stay in a nice easy fold. Maybe even keeping your legs bent. Inhale, halfway lift to look up. Exhale, fold. Release the palms if they're underneath the feet. We're coming back in for chair, so take this block between your legs. Send your tailbone back behind you. Start to lean back onto the heels, toes lifting off of the ground. Make sure these knees are not exceeding the feet, so they're not far forward. Let's take some deep breaths, squeezing the block, engaging the glutes. And release the block. Exhale, fold. Take a nice gentle fold. Enjoy some breaths here. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Now inhale with the power of the legs. Take your hands above your head. Watch them as they touch. And exhale them to the side body. Roll your neck a couple of times. And then come back to center. Now we're going to play around with half moon pose. So have a block on the ground. If you struggle with flexibility, you can always bend this standing leg as much as you need to. So step away from your block a little bit. Take this left foot behind you. We're going to start to lean forward, taking our palm down to that block. And what we're going to do is we're going to open the hips. So the hips are going to be opened out towards the long edge of the mat. So they're not squared with the ground, they're open. From there, from here, you're going to be lifting this left leg up towards the sky. You can either keep your hand on your glute and just make sure that you're engaging it by feeling that muscle. If you've got the stability, you can always remove your prop and maybe bring your fingertips down to the ground. You're going to be lifting that leg as high as you can. Remember, the standing leg can be bent. Just feeling that glute. Keep it nice and strong. Keep the hips nice and open. Don't lean backwards or too forwards. Take a couple more deep breaths here. You can look down or straight ahead. And release. Take a little forward fold here. Maybe just move your legs. Releasing that standing leg. And then inhale up. Hands touch above the head. Watch as they touch. Exhale to the side body. Let's give that standing leg a little shake. Just to release it out. We're going to do the same on the other side. So remember to grab your prop. You can step away from it a little bit to give you the space. We're going to have our hips quite open, or very open, should I say. So the front toes are facing forwards. We're going to start to lean down, holding onto that block and lifting the back leg off of the ground. You can even take this to a chair and hold onto the back of a chair if you need extra stability. One side may be easier than the other. And start to lift this right leg off of the ground. Lift it as high as you can. Squeezing that glute. You'll feel a little indent here in the bum. That's good. That means you've got the engagement. If you don't need your prop, you can take the fingertips down to the ground. Opening up. Take your hand to the glute just so you know you've got it activated. Holding it up as high as you can. Take a couple more deep breaths. And release the leg to the ground. Just start to work through the legs. Bending and straightening. Releasing that standing leg. It's quite a tough pose, so don't worry if you fell out of it or if you just didn't have the accessibility today. Bring your big toes together, heels slightly apart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Now plant the hands. We're going to step back nice and slowly into our plank. Zip the legs together. Suck up through the abdomen. And exhale all the way to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra or full cobra. And exhale, release. Send your hips back towards your heels. Open your knees as wide as your mat this time. And we're going to come on down for a lovely wide-legged child's pose. Forehead down to the floor. Take some deep breaths here. On every exhale, lift up through the pelvic floor. And release. Walk yourself back up. We're just going to do a little glute stretch to end our class today. So extend your left leg out long in front of you. This is going to be the easier variation of the pose. And you're going to take the right leg over the top, placing this right foot firmly onto the ground. You're going to take a gentle twist. So you can either hold onto the knee, just wrapping the left arm onto the right knee, pulling that knee towards your chest. Taking this right hand behind you and twisting the spine from the mid to upper back, looking back behind you. You can stay here, or you can join me in Gomukhasana by leaning forward, bringing your knees together and opening up through the feet, sitting back between the feet, so that this right leg is still on top. If you're in the easier version, just stay there enjoying the gentle twist. From here in our Gomukhasana, we're going to take our left hand to the right knee, and again we're going to take a twist. Looking behind us towards the right fingertips, close your eyes. Whichever pose you chose, let's all together take 3 deep breaths. And release, everybody. If you're in Gomukhasana, you're going to lean forward, bringing your knees back down to the ground, and extend through that right leg. Just give it a little stretch. And then we're going to cross over and come back into Gomukhasana on the other side. If you're taking the easy pose, you've now got your right leg forward. Our left leg's going on top. Just take a little twist here. You don't have to twist very deeply. Taking this right arm to the left leg, pulling that knee towards the chest. Close your eyes and enjoy the twist here. If you're in Gomukhasana, you've got your left leg on top, knees together, feet open wide. Sit back between the feet. Right hand to the left knee, take your twist. Close your eyes as you twist and look back towards the left side of the room. Wherever you are, sit up nice and tall through the spine. Close your eyes. All together, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And release. Come back out of the pose the way you came in. If you were in Gomukhasana, extend the left leg, give it a little stretch. And then release. And you're more than welcome to end your class here. Maybe take a little seated meditation. Perhaps click through to my guided Shavasana. It's totally up to you guys. This can be tailor-made for you. So I really hope you've enjoyed this class. I hope you found some challenge within it as well. I know it's quite a challenging one, working on the glutes. And I really hope you've enjoyed this 5-day challenge. I know it's nice and short, but you can add it into your strengthening routine. So The best way to do that is to create a playlist, or just keep coming back to this playlist and giving the videos a thumbs up. That way you save it to your liked videos. And don't forget guys, you can find me on other platforms, Instagram and Facebook. And you can also sign up for my weekly newsletter. All the links are below in the description, so take a look. Until next time everybody, thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.